I'm here to talk about Crocodile this time. Jozu. So Jozu, there wasn't much to talk about because he's a extremely linear character, and his whole goal where until your head bleeds, and then your opponent just pressure from Jozu. So instead, let's talk about a more diverse character as Crocodile. So his movement speed is pretty good. He moves around the map pretty damn well. He has a lot of keep out tools, and he also has ways to get in on the opponent. So let's talk about his melee. His melee is pretty good, as it not only is it pretty decently fast as it beats out certain characters, but he also has the Logia guard, which he can of course go through certain attacks unless they're a hockey user, in which case you just kind of sit there and cry. But he has a go behind teleport that unless you really mash, you can't really do much out of it, in which case you just be using it in combos anyways, or to be closing the gap against certain characters. Like, per se, you need to get on a Moria and you're way the fuck out here. Boom. Do note that teleport does take time. It takes about a good 1.5 to 2, depending on the lag. So by the time they see that, they'll be already just kind of like letting go and holding guard. But other than that, let's get into combos. Well, more so his supers, excuse me. So he has Desert Spada. It's I wouldn't say a full screen projectile, but it hits pretty damn far, if not full screen. It is a lot slower as it goes out, but it's very fast upon activation, and most characters get extremely annoyed by it. One thing to note too is that if you're holding your Logia guard, then he gains to Desert La Spada. Far shorter hitting move, but this variant grants you knockback instead of just a hit stun, which I don't think it confirms. No, it does not. But yeah. And another one to keep in mind is Crescent Cutlass. It's mainly just for combos. It's a cash out option, if you will. Taller characters, if they're on the ground, you can get 2, but if you're dealing with smaller characters, then you do the Desert Spada, just to, again, cash out. You can do an area attack too, I guess, but you'll just be putting yourself at a disadvantage. At least with the Desert Spada, it's pretty fast. The recovery, on the other hand, is not too hot, but against certain characters it's safe, others it's... And Crescent Cutlass, do not use outside of combos, because otherwise you will get fucked, like, really bad. And now for his other super, Sables. Or it's Funimation likes to call it Sables, but it's actually Sables. But yeah, it's it also turns into Pasado while in the air. You do not need to hold the Logia in the air to do it. It's a common misconception, but if you do, it does kind of ups the damage. What's great about Pasado is it causes like a lot of knockback. So let's say I'm right here, or right here is a good one, and I'm trying to create distance. Now he's all the way towards the wall, if not nearly the whole damn screen, and now he has to come and get to me. So, that makes that move extremely good, just to throw it out there to keep him in check and whatnot. And it gives people a very hard time. His area attack is kind of weird. It's not that good unless you're comboing into Crescent Cutlass upon hit confirm. And even then, that doesn't really do that much. Hold on. Huh. I guess that's a safe cash out option too, but yeah, it's not the greatest, but oh wow, it doesn't even hit that far. That sucks. So I guess you can throw it out there every once in a while. Just note that it exists. But it was really, really good. Like a couple of hits and then that, and then you can just auto combo in the sobbles. So I'll explain combos a little bit better. But in the middle of a combo, it's really good because if they're blocking and then they try to sidestep you, or if you think they're going to let go at any point, then you do that because it is a little delayed and you get a free sobbles out of it, which is about 20% every time. So it hurts. It'll hurt. Your opponent definitely will feel it. So yes. Now let's go into his dash attack. His dash attack is the same thing as the what is it? The unique attack's follow-up, because his unique attack goes into kind of like this dash move, and then it will go with like a hook sending flying out to the opponent. One thing to note is that it is a double hitting move. So if your opponent does not block the second move, then it will cause the flyback effect, in which you get your free combo. So yeah. Now let's go into combos. So he has quite a bit of options to go into in terms of combos. So, and a lot of them are outside of his burning gauge. But outside of his awakened state, he has, if your opponent's letting go of guard, you can do that. Sometimes you will get the La Spada, sometimes you won't. Oops, I did it too late. But yeah. Oops, I did fucked up again. It's pretty good in that aspect. Another combo to keep in mind, like I mentioned, if you think you can get your opponent with an area attack, because it is a little goofy looking. So, air attack, cutlass, and then Spada or the area unique. Because that is the safer alternative, and it does a guaranteed 20 damage every time. And here's another one. If you catch your opponent off guard with the hook, here's one. Is that do your dash attack into one unique attack, and then teleport into 2 melees, and then into a cutlass for the catch out. So here we go. You kind of have to be mashing it to really get it. So just keep doing that until you get it. Otherwise, he'll just kind of like stop randomly, and then you'll be like, well, fuck me. But it is a little harder to do, but once you practice it enough, you should be able to get it within 5 tries. Easy. So do keep in mind, if they do wake up right away, it's best to just hold guard, because more than likely they will try to hit you out of your recovery, and your recovery on that move is balls. So yeah. And then here's one. So if you're far away enough, kind of like this range, you can do a unique into sobbles, into teleport, into 3 attacks, and then the cutlass. Oh, come on. Oops. God damn it. I'm fucking up. And that does about 60 to 70%. It is very situational to do, but once you figure out when to do it, it's so good to do. Ah, damn it. Yeah, if you're not mashing it right away, you'll typically not get it. Like that, because you'll just randomly fall out of it. Okay, so it's 2 hits. My bad. I thought it was 3. It was 2. Yeah. He randomly fell up, but you get the point. So, the moves that he can Unity assist on is... Hold on. Let's see. Oh god, I forgot what it was. Okay, so La Spada he can go and Unity assist into, and god, it's been so long since I played this character. Oopsies. Stuff that's practical. Okay, so you can't do it off. Yeah, so basically Crocodile's not really the one meant to Unity chain into anything, so oh well. So now let's talk about his awakened state. As you can kind of guess by the purple obvious RPG element to his hook, that he does gain poison. So it is, unlike Moria's, you can't be hit out of it. You're just kind of stuck with it. So like that, now his health turns purple, and unlike what's his face, Akiji and Moria, it's not a short term, it's actually a long term effect where it decreases for 10 seconds, I believe. Oh no, 8, like 7 to 8 seconds. Even then, that's a long time. So one thing to also note is that there is one good combo to really go into, and like we discussed before, Unique, Sobbles, 2 attacks, and then the Sand Burial, Sand Coffin, horse shit. That typically kills well. There is another one that you'll be using a lot more often than that one, and that's the dash attack variant. So that. So I don't believe this variant kills, but it will do a lot of damage. It'll do like 85%, 85 to 90%. And even then they still have the poison to account for, so in all reality it does like 95% by the time they're done, if not 100. Like, he literally has the tic-tac left. So yeah, there's that to keep in mind. Yeah, so while he has Logia on, he doesn't really gain any like benefits other than just being able to go through moves. He does gain quite a bit of more damage while he's holding it, and it does change some of his moves, but other than that, it's not too much. So just remember that unique attack and dash attack are your 2 best friends in terms of getting in the opponent and keeping away the opponent. Spadas and Pasados are your best bet. You can create Sobbles, but some projectiles will be able to eat through your Sobbles. So other Sobbles, Pasados, Seaquakes, Pheasant Breaks. Yeah, about like 90% of the projectiles in the game get through it. All the weaker projectiles will not go through it, so yeah, those projectiles quote-unquote trade off with Sobbles, if that makes sense. So even though it's a little on the slow side for a startup, it's kind of well worth it because it does travel across the screen. It's not worth it in terms of the damage, but it's worth it to kind of keep the opponent in check. So like you can throw one out there And then... So, yeah. On that, that was the crocodile tutorial. Hopefully this was helpful, and definitely a beast in terms of online ranked, in terms of a keep-out monster. Just a good character all around. On that, I'll see you guys in the next one with a Kainu.